Welcome to today's chapel meeting at the Andrew Murray Center for Spirituality. Here at the center, we observe Thurs-days as a day of lament, identifying with the worldwide movement Thurs-days in Black, mourning with people suffering from systems of abuse such as racism, classism, sexism, and other stereotypes, particularly where these interact. When Moses encouraged the Israelites before they entered the Promised Land, he described a picture of God that was probably meant to boggle their minds. In Deuteronomy 10, verses 17 to 19, we find this description of the God of Israel, according to the New Revised Standard Version. For the Lord your God is God of gods and Lord of lords, the great God, mighty and awesome, who is not partial and takes no bribe, who executes justice for the orphan and the widow, and who loves the strangers, providing them food and clothing. You shall also love the stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Let us now engage with this text by bringing our own pain and grief before God, our feelings of loss, rejection, and desolation. Press the pause button if you wish, and take your time before you resume listening. The idiomatic expression in Deuteronomy 10 verse 17, the God who is not partial, according to the NRSV, the God with whom there is no favoritism, according to the NIV, literally means the God who does not lay hold of someone's face. That is, the God who does not esteem anyone according to face value. The expression occurs many times in the Bible, here in Deuteronomy, in Leviticus, in the Gospels and Acts, and some of the Pauline letters. It probably originated from within the context of slavery, be it in Egypt or Rome, where slaves were chained to one another while waiting to be sold on the market. As inferiors, they were not allowed to lift up their heads until a potential buyer would do so, sometimes brutally, in order to examine their teeth and general health. In Deuteronomy 10 verse 17 and other places, this phrase occurs in a context which emphasizes God's sovereignty and almighty power. In contrast to the often abusive power of contemporary authorities, the God of Israel's power is defined in terms of God's loving care and concern for people, and particularly by God's restoring what was lost to them, namely their dignity and humanity. This is the God whom we see on Golgotha. This is the God of whom Jesse Norman sang at the beginning of our meditation. Were you there when they crucified my Lord? Were you there when God raised him from the tomb? Oh, sometimes it causes me to tremble, tremble, tremble. Take your time now to think about the God of Israel, who revealed God's self as a God who shows no favoritism, a God whose power is defined in terms of God's compassion for people, a God who ultimately revealed God's self in Jesus of Nazareth as a God whose grace is for all people, from every family and tribe, from every nation and language, from every gender and social class. This is the God who invites you and me in Jesus. Come to me, and I will give you rest. Shall we pray? Kyrie eleison. Heer, wees ons genadig. Grant us, Lord, your mercy. Grant us, Christ, your mercy. Kosi yiba nengleba. Christi eleison. Kyrie eleison. Dear friend, may God bless you abundantly and be your living hope and comfort in this day. Amen.